So, if you're flying a DJI drone, I'm sure you've heard all the talk, all the rumors flying around about a potential ban here in the US. Honestly, there's a ton of confusion and just plain wrong information out there. Today, we're going to cut right through all that noise and get to the bottom of what this DJI ban really means for you and your gear. All right, let's get into it. This is it, right? This is the million-dollar question that's on every pilot's mind. Are you going to wake up one day and that expensive drone you rely on is just completely useless? It's a really scary thought, especially for all the businesses out there that have built their operations around this tech. Okay, so the short answer is no, your drone is not going to turn into a paperweight overnight. Phew. But the long answer, well, it's a lot more complicated. And to really get what's coming down the pike, we've got to start by separating what's fact from what's fiction. So let's just tackle the biggest misunderstandings head on. This whole section is about getting the facts straight, so you can make smart decisions, not decisions based on fear or some random rumor you saw online. All right, let's just bust some myths, because there are some big ones. First up, this idea that DJI can just remotely brick your drone with some kind of kill switch? Totally false. That capability just doesn't exist. What about the FAA banning DJI? Nope, also false. Your Part 107 operations are still perfectly fine. And the big one, you can't fly your DJI drone anymore? False again. If you already own it legally, you can keep flying it. And maybe most important, this whole thing is not immediate. It doesn't kick in until late 2025. So, here's the bottom line for now. You can still fly. Your current drone is safe. You can take a little sigh of relief. But, and this is a big but, don't get too comfortable. The real challenge here isn't about your drone falling out of the sky. It's about what's coming next, just over the horizon. To understand what the real risk is, you have to look at the legal gears turning behind the scenes. See, this isn't some random executive order. It's actually a specific clause buried in a massive piece of legislation, and it comes with a very, very specific deadline. It's a ticking clock. Okay, so here's how it actually works. The 2025 National Defense Authorization Act, you'll hear it called the NDAA, has this little rule inside it. It says that a U.S. security agency has to do a formal security audit of DJI. But here's the catch. If that audit doesn't happen by a certain date, DJI automatically gets slapped onto the FCC's covered list. And that, for all intents and purposes, is a blacklist. Now let's look at the timeline, because the dates here are absolutely critical. December 22nd, 2025. That is the final day for this security audit to get done. Now, if it doesn't, and let me tell you, no one has even said an audit is happening, then the very next day, December 23rd, the FCC is legally required to blacklist DJI. Then from 2026 on, that's when the real pain starts to set in. Just burn this date into your brain. December 23, 2025. This is the trigger date. It's not a maybe, it's not a what if, it is written into federal law and it is coming. So if your drone isn't going to get bricked, what's the big deal? What's the actual risk? Well, the best way to think about it is not as a sudden shutdown, but more like a slow squeeze, a gradual tightening of the screws on the entire DJI ecosystem here in the States. And this really shows the difference perfectly. We're not talking about a sudden shutdown where your drone just stops working. We're talking about a slow squeeze, where yeah, your drone still flies, but keeping it in the air becomes harder and harder and harder over time. It's a creeping risk, not a sudden explosion. So, what does this slow squeeze actually feel like in the real world? Well, for starters, you could get a firmware freeze. Critical updates, like for remote ID compliance, could just stop, meaning your drone might not even be legal to fly. If you use custom apps, the SDK support could break, which makes your expensive payloads totally useless. Need a spare part? Good luck. Things like batteries and props could become incredibly hard to find. And maybe the biggest one? You could get locked out of DJI's cloud services, which means no more flight planning or, crucially, no more unlocking restricted airspace. Okay, that's the problem. It is serious. But it is absolutely manageable if you start planning right now. So let's talk about your survival guide. This is a simple, actionable game plan for any professional operator out there. Here it is, your 3-step game plan. Step 1, audit everything. Make a list of every single piece of DJI gear that is critical to your workflow. Step 2, stockpile. If a part is essential, order it now. Don't wait. We're talking batteries, props, delicate sensors, you name it. And step 3, the most important one, start testing alternatives. You have to get an NDAA-compliant backup plan in place before you're forced to switch. And, testing alternatives isn't just some vague idea. The market for these compliant drones is really growing up. For high-end work like LiDAR or photogrammetry, there are already some really solid direct alternatives to the DJI setups you're probably using. The whole point is to start learning these new systems now, so you're not scrambling to figure it out when it's too late. So you might be asking why? Why is the US government doing all this? It's really not about crushing a company just for fun. This entire effort is being driven by some very specific national security concerns about foreign-made drone technology. And look, this is the kind of official language we're talking about. This isn't just political talk, it's a formal government process. Once that deadline in 2025 passes, the FCC will put out a notice, just like this, and bam, foreign-made drones get added to the covered list. It's a bureaucratic move, but it has massive real-world consequences. And this quote right here, this gets to the absolute heart of the government's argument. The fear is that these drones and their parts could be used for, and I'm quoting here, persistent surveillance, data exfiltration, and destructive operations. Now, whether you agree with that assessment or not, you have to understand that this is the official reason driving this entire policy. So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? It's that the era of DJI's complete and total dominance of the US drone market is ending. That slow squeeze we talked about, it's already happening, and it's specifically designed to force a change. So the real question isn't if the drone world in America is going to change, but how. What new companies are going to rise up? What amazing new innovations are we going to see because of this shift? That, my friends, is the future we are all about to watch unfold.